Hi there guys, I hope you are having a good day. So shall we talk about the Floyd Mayweather versus Jake Paul? Is it Jake Paul? No, it's Logan Paul, wasn't it? Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather. Jake Paul did actually call out Canelo apparently as well. Canelo just put an emoji of him slapping his face after the contest had ended. And then Jake Paul responded by saying something like, "I would tear you apart," or something crazy like that. That is mental. Canelo's not going to take a fight like that because he's not interested in this kind of dynamic with boxing anyway. And in addition to that, Canelo would destroy him in a matter of a minute, a round, easily, because Canelo is at the pinnacle of the sport. He's ranked pound for pound number one. So just think what he would be doing to that guy if they were ever to get in the ring with one another. Now, talking about the contest itself, Floyd versus Logan, get it right this time. Yeah, it was it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be honest. I thought that it would be terrible. I thought that Floyd Mayweather would capitalize, stop him in a couple of rounds, and that could well have happened. Logan hung in there. He looked tired for majority of the contest, especially going late. Around round 6 onwards, it didn't seem like Logan Paul could establish any kind of foothold, and the claims that he hurt Floyd Mayweather, that never really happened. Maybe Floyd was tired, but you could see there wasn't really all that much technique in Logan Paul's punches. So by the time they got to Floyd Mayweather, there wasn't all that much on them, and it wasn't really going to cause Floyd all that many problems when they did land, because some of them did when he was coming in. Now, usually when that happens, it does cause an effect, but in this situation, the technique wasn't really there to land a powerful punch. That being said, for someone who's not a professional boxer by trade, I think he done alright. It was okay. I mean, he didn't get stopped, but after the fight he was talking about going into MMA, and probably that would be better for him, even though it would be a little bit more dangerous, but he is clearly like a grappler, and he's not really a boxer. I think that comes first, so maybe MMA would be a good route for him, if he's looking to do something like that. And that could be the problem, I mean, talking about going to MMA, then coming back to boxing, and I mean, him being a novice as well, you have to dedicate years at something like this if you want to be any good at it, and that could potentially be the issue, going down different avenues here and there, and not sticking to one thing. Now, I'm not saying that Logan Paul is ever going to be a pro boxer who wins world titles. I don't think that can happen. I just don't think it's possible. That might sound disrespectful, but that's just the way it is. I don't think he's ever going to win world titles. He's nowhere near that kind of level. And Floyd is 44 years old. Yes, he's 50-0. Yes, he's one of the greatest ever to do it. But again, he's been retired for a while, and he is 44 years old. He even alluded to that in his post-fight interview. So, a fighter who is probably a good 6 years or more past their best, then you can expect there to be a little bit of advantage when it comes to youth when someone like Logan Paul gets in the ring with him. He's a big guy as well, and he was grappling a lot, so that made it difficult for Floyd to land significant punches. Had he stood off Floyd and they boxed like that, then I believe that Floyd Mayweather would have stopped him. But you know what, hey, fair play to him, he used the physical advantages he had to try and bridge that gap a little bit more, and did prevent him from being stopped in this contest. And he said after the fight this is one of his greatest moments, so fair play to him, let him have his moment. Now, is there going to be more of this in the future? Will Floyd come back? Well, given his post-fight interview, maybe not. I mean, he said he's been in this sport for over 25 years or something like that, which was kind of not a direct response to the question about maybe doing something more. I'm not entirely sure what Floyd will do. If they bring the money and put it on the table, I'm hard-pressed to say he's going to say no. And Logan Paul, he's talking about MMA and boxing still. Maybe he will have another fight. Obviously, his brother Jake Paul will be back on Showtime fighting Tyrone Woodley, so this kind of crossover boxing isn't coming to an end anytime soon. And say what you want about it, they don't seem to really get beat, and if they do, it's not all that badly. I guess that's because they're fighting one another or opponents who aren't really at that kind of level or are off the gas, maybe even past their best. I mean, they do know how to navigate it. That is one thing I will say. I wouldn't say that they are highly skilled because, I mean, Jake Paul's beat, Gibb was his name? And he's beat also Ben Askren, and the basketball player as well, Robinson. So they do navigate the sport in the right way when it comes to picking their opponents. I mean, they're making great money by doing it, but it's just when they do step up to a certain level and fight a fighter who is adequate, that is when the difficulty will come. Now, you think that that would happen when Logan Paul steps in against Floyd Mayweather, but again, physical advantages, certain things here and there like weight and size, came to Logan Paul's rescue during that contest because he didn't get stopped. But then you look at the punch stats and you can see that Floyd Mayweather was way above him, outlanding him as well. So he didn't win the fight. I mean, those who are saying that he beat Floyd Mayweather, he did not beat Floyd Mayweather, but he didn't get stopped against him. He went 8 rounds with him. And I guess you could say, given his experience level, that is an achievement in of itself. So guys, anyway, it seems like this kind of setup for boxing is here to stay. I don't know how long it's going to last. There is no telling. I mean, there was that minor back and forth between Canelo and Jake. I mean, Canelo never really responded to it, or he hasn't just yet, where he just put that emoji. And what exactly did Jake Paul say? He said, "You can't sell pay-per-views. I would eat you alive." Now, is he talking about the fact that he would eat him alive when it comes to pay-per-views? Because that's the only chance he has of beating someone like Canelo in any form. When he says that Canelo cannot sell pay-per-views, well, he doesn't sell pay-per-views, he's on DAZN usually, so that's a streaming platform, so that's like a month-by-month basis, so they pay their subscription, whatever it is in the US and in the UK, and you can watch Canelo as a part of your package. He's not on pay-per-view, at the moment anyway. He is on Fight by Fight, with DAZN and with Matchroom of course, so things could change, but he isn't selling pay-per-views at this point in time. And given what Eddie Hearn has explained Canelo has done for DAZN in bringing more numbers to their platform, then I'd say that Canelo has a pretty good shot of selling good pay-per-view numbers if he were to return to that kind of setup. But as I said, he's on that streaming platform at the moment and not on pay-per-view. And the comment about eating him alive, never ever going to happen. But anyway, guys, what are your thoughts on this? What do you think about this whole kind of setup for boxing as a whole, with someone like Logan Paul getting in the ring with Floyd Mayweather as an exhibition? Do you think it's bad for the sport, or are you happy for it to bring more numbers to the sport? And if you're not interested, then just let it go on by and focus on the fights that you are interested in as a boxing fan, and not these different kind of events. Anyway, guys, drop your thoughts on this in the comments below. Also leave a like and grab that subscribe button. Thanks guys.